Hello there, members of the viewing audience, and welcome once again to another episode of Written Wednesday. And I have learned the wrath of Bill Gates because whilst enjoying a nice, normal session of being on my laptop out at Starbucks, because yes, I'm that kind of obnoxious writer, I either wasn't paying attention to the battery or the battery just died on me because I looked down, it had a red exclamation point on it, and then a message flashed up on my screen saying, "Warning, locking your screen, your power is critically low." And the screen turned off, the computer turned into like sleep mode, and I decided, well, I'll hit the power button and I'll plug her in and I'll charge it up and get back on this baby when I get home. No, I was not going to, because what ended up transpiring was, once I booted up the computer after charging it, it got to the desktop, and it would stop and act like it was reloading the desktop again after a brief flash of the screen. Then it would just keep doing that in an infinite loop. And I looked into it, and apparently what had happened was the operating system crashed. Apparently, Windows 10 really does not like hard shutdowns. And this was close enough to a hard shutdown that the entire machine died. Oh, thank you. Yes, I got a new light for the stream. I am now a glowing figure. I have crossed the ethereal planes. I have delved into my lightmancy, and I have learned how to resurrect Windows 10, at least the once. I've had to turn from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. What are you wearing? A hat, tie, suit, vest, suit, and suit. So, the name of the game today is Infinity Quest. Thanks to Ray, I have been invigorated in a little sabbatical of writing. We've gotten up to about 112 pages of this little fun adventure between us, where I've been revamping an old universe of mine that you may or may not get to see in the future. But with my batteries charged, my computer resurrected from the dead, I believe it's time that we give Infinity Quest some attention and see what I can do tonight. Now, I will say it is Sunday. I've just gotten off work not so long ago. It's been a 3-day weekend working 2 jobs, and I am a little bit tired. So, if the stream's content is not up to its original standard, which, don't worry, I think I set the bar low enough that I'll be able to squeak on by without much to do, we should be able to plow our way through this, and everything should be alright, but I do apologize if I'm a little bit off kilter. Sally forth, brave soldier. Yes, thank you very much. So, hopefully, everything's streaming correctly. The video's going through correctly. Nothing's being... What? 07. Oh, it's a salute! Okay! Ah! Well, I'd hate to record this and have all the audio not be there. And secondly, I've noticed I've not gone through all my files yet. So potentially everything I managed to save might be corrupted. And I might have lost 5 weeks of Written Wednesday, which would murder my face and make me wish to commit forever sleeping. I will overdose on a fatal amount of anime with my friend Sush, and that will just be it. No, I'll just take a book out of Dr. Stone's playbook and just freeze myself in a sculpture for 3,700 years. But which, by the way, she's had me watch that recently. We're getting pretty into it. It's pretty good. And that one character who keeps saying, "Rules are rules," got stuck in my head today, and that seemed to be a running theme today. Oh, I am sipping on Rain Total Body Fuel Melon Mania flavor. I've been kind of back and forth between Monster and Rain. I'm really digging Rain's taste. I tried Bang. Bang just has this really like potassium-y chemical taste at the end. Like, it's not an aftertaste. It's a at the tail end of when you're tasting it kind of taste. Oh yeah, I highly recommend buying this. This stuff is great. So, I'm going to take and I'm going to load up on my power fuel. See if I can't get the old gears in the brain box ticking. And if you guys have any questions about writing, world building, character building, or anything of the sort, please let me know. And if you are in the market for looking to get a psychological profile done of your character, I highly recommend consulting my friend, the Character Consultancy. I always want to say consultory. I always get it wrong. Better known as Haley. She is a wonderful friend of mine with her own YouTube channel. You guys should completely and totally subscribe and really consider looking at her psychological profiles. It really helps you with the outline and details she gives you to come up with a general idea of what direction you want to take your character, how they think, how they operate that, and believe me, once you can get into your character's own head and you have a framework to be able to easily jump into a character's head, it saves you so much work, and it does help you write a book yourself, especially something that's very dialogue driven. Being able to progress the story because you know how your characters would act helps you sculpt the storyline for later. So I cannot stress the importance of know your characters, know your characters, know your characters, know your characters. Even if the character of the setting is your government, whether you want to say it's a big evil mega corporation or something like that that's running the show, understand how they operate, what their policy is, understand the basics, world build the living heck out of that stuff, and it will help you sculpt the world. And I'm going to pull a quote here, paraphrasing of course, from Vino. We had been communicating on DeviantArt, and on DeviantArt and Twitter, as some of my followers will know, I try to post a nightly question. Here of late, I've been really tired, so it's been spotty this week. Oh yeah. No, I don't know about the guest things. The whole no access for guests, it just recently started doing that. I think Picardo's cracking down or something. But yes, it's the best and it's the hardest. But I was talking to Vino, and like I said, anybody who follows me on Twitter or DeviantArt will know that I try to pose a nightly question every night to everybody. Nightly. And here this week, I've been kind of bad about it. I've been pretty spotty in 2020, but I'm going to try and dial myself back in. And I forget exactly what it was about characters, but he had made it a point to tell me that the stories in fiction that we see of the day being won by one particularly heroic soldier or one man defying orders and leading a big army to victory, that really doesn't happen in the real world. At the best of times, if you have this one big cult of personality fellow who just goes through and tries their absolute best to win this battle, he's going to get himself hurt. If nothing else, he's going to get himself killed unnecessarily and lose that ground. Battles aren't and it's easiest to think about this, but they're not like medieval battles. It's not a bunch of people going out into the field hacky slashy with a sword and club, and whoever can keep going forward to the other castle wins. There are generals, there are specialists, there are skilled people and tacticians that plan the theater, plan the battle, plan where it's taking place. And each little battles represents a bigger victory, because you don't just beat someone by wiping out all their people, crippling their ability to fight back, ruining their infrastructure, cutting off supply lines, taking territory, or just causing damage in specific places. These are all things a competent government would think about if you're going to do something that involves a lot of fighting, which I know violent-themed books in the post-apocalypse or something like that are usually the most common. So if you want a grim, dark dystopia or something akin to the apocalypse or something like that, and you want to have a big bad government overcharge everything, or a big bad settlement or something like that, and you want them effectively to be using a large armed force against rebels, Tactics is something you're going to need to think about. The organizations that you're writing for. You can never do enough world building. Now, I say that with a grain of salt. As we will know in this series, one of my battle cries is everything in moderation, including moderation. So, yes, you can never overthink this. It's always good to know your series, your characters, your settings, your government, the ins and outs of your universe in great detail because it will help you write. However, you can distract yourself and put a wrong amount of effort into the world building when you should be writing. So again, this is a person-to-person case. You're going to have to decide the balance you want to take and put the world building in. You're going to have to you're going to have to decide whether you want the work to be in the world building or the actual writing. So, view the importance of world building. Do as much of it as you can, but try not to let it distract you from the actual writing. My neck is bothering me. This is my first time, and it let me sign up no problem. Alrighty. I just read your username, and I just got that. Welcome to the stream, Openly Gator. I hope you have a reptilianly good time. Now, as you can imagine, with my operating system strangling itself and revealing that Bill Gates is a cruel, cruel man, I didn't get much typing done. Specifically on this. Where I could, I've been role-playing and working out the setting for my Will to Survive universe with Ray like absolute crazy. It has been fun, and dealing with Ray has been like coming into contact periodically with some sort of performance-enhancing writing drug. She is just boundless energy with incredibly written characters and just this wonderful, endearing sense of writing that's just fun to want to read. And her characters are fun too. Her art is amazing as well. So if you want to follow her on Twitter, it's at Raydorable, R-A-E, Ray, at Twitter. And if I recall correctly, Kitsuko, with an O, not a P, is her fur affinity. I highly recommend checking her out and enjoying her artwork and subscribing to her, or following her, or whatever you have to do. Oh yeah, go do that immediately. She is an absolute peach. Everybody loves her. I showed Jacob her artwork. He recognized the style from having seen it before. And every picture he went over, he absolutely gushed over. And secondly, he really, really loved her Full Metal Alchemist art. It's a little bit older, and it's wonderful just how much she's improved leaps and bounds. I know you're too humble to want to accept this, Ray, but you are a fantastic artist, and the just stark improvement in your work as time goes on is obvious to even the most casual observer. But that said, her old works are still very entertaining, and anyone who's a fan of Full Metal Alchemist, you're really going to like her take on the uniforms and what she's done there, like Jacob did, because he absolutely loved that. And I am ignoring the fact he is in the chat using Uwu speak like exclusively while I'm trying to make a good, nice, happy, we're coming together, heartwarming, wholesome moment here for everybody. I see you, Jacob. I see you being a dirty furry. I am disappointed, and I am taking you to Bob Barker's house come the finish of this stream. Ah, God. Yeah, something wants to crack, but it just won't go. Okay, I declare exterminatus in the name of the Emperor. We're moving along. In In the words of Chris Christie, you have been stopped. Oh yeah, no, pop that neck. I am going to go full on. Oh god, I keep forgetting his name. The main protagonist of Dr. Stone, the green-haired dude who looks like a turnip. Since we are here, I was telling Ray about how bad Dune was. Please tell. Oh. Please tell her about it. I want you to take on the mantle of ranter. Senku! That's his name. Senku. Okay. So, I guess before I start writing, I'm going to... Yeah, Senku's the name of the main character from Dr. Stone. Since I have been requested to, I shall indulge. I want you to imagine a book that everybody talks of and praises immensely. I'm going to sound like a total hipster here because oh, I don't like it. But I want you to imagine this. Every single person who talks about this book almost unanimously praises this book and gives it credit for founding just ridiculous amounts of modern sci-fi. They claim it is this transformational piece, like what Star Trek was to sci-fi, Dune is to sci-fi writing. But the thing is, they can never really provide any good reason as to it, and they just mindlessly fall in lockstep. From the reviews I've read, I get the sense that none of them actually read it, but they praise it because someone else praised it so highly and they want to sound like they're a member of the it crowd. They go to biotech for the reason that apparently at some point in the Dune history, all computers are destined to become sentient and turn on their creators. Okay, I could see that as a Terminator setting. That would be okay if you could give me a reason why, but no, that's just... No, electronics, all that stuff, no, computers, So they use biotech and these big bloated people who use this magical, mystical space spice to enact some sort of weird magic. And because of the way the computers are, yes, they, as he pointed out here, they called a jihad against all technology. The press of it being feudalism in space from the era of the jihad against technology, the jihad against technology, yeah. And one, the prose is very bad. I don't like the way that the author has set up the way he writes, and then his world building. He includes a thesaurus in the back, so you can go to all these words that he's created, and you have to do your homework. You have to, I want you to imagine, hang on. I have a book right here, okay? Let's pretend this is Dune, okay? Let's pretend. I'm reading the book, and I come across one of these words. He does not bother to explain it. Instead, I have to go all the way back to the thesaurus in the back of the book. Oh, this book is very old, and apparently it's decided to poop its spine all over my chair. I have to go to the back of the book. Find where it is. Read that word. Then go back. Reading again. Oh, another word I don't know. Back to the back. Reading again. Back to the back. Back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. That takes me out of the heat of the moment. Reading. I can't build up any momentum. And the words he does create are either complete gibberish, or they're so simple it feels insultive that he feels the need to explain it. What was it? Rome stairs, or Roman arc, or something like that. And it's just like a Roman-styled arc. You don't say! It's like learning a new language, Caleb. Yes, except for it's the language of idiocy. It is the language of a man whose mouth is melting onto a page. The setting is stupid because he doesn't flesh it out. There's zero to no world building. It's just like technology bad, computers bad. Magical space spice is the answer. And these feudal lords are fighting or something like that. There's some sort of weird spice hippies. It makes absolute no sense at all. The writing's shabby, and oh, spoilers ahead. The thing I remember that I hate the most, because Jacob used to tease and taunt me about this book religiously. I could tell you more about this book than I ever wanted to, and after he stopped, I ejected it out of the corners of my brain. However, apparently a mental skid mark was left here, because now I'm remembering. If you don't want me to spoil the book, plug your ears or cover your eyes. When the hero becomes one with the giant sandcrawler and becomes the God Emperor worm of humanity, he decides in all his infinite grub wisdom that the best thing he can do for humanity is to encourage them to spread out and populate as much as they can, so that nothing will ever happen to them, and that no matter what, there's always going to be humans, and that they shouldn't rely on one centralized leader like him. So he becomes a tyrant worm. He's a bad worm. Someone call a crow, not the one who wrote Lenora, because that book's also a train wreck. Someone call a crow to take care of this worm, because he's gone bad. And because of his 9th level intellect, he knows that they're going to grow to resent the idea of this leader, this God Emperor, this one figure over them all, and they're going to kill him, instead of passing on his warning to them and teaching them like civilized folks. No, that wouldn't make sense. I have to make an example of them by torturing them for 3 centuries. I have a feeling that Dune is what it sounds like when someone wants to say something to sound intelligent but has nothing to say. It is a book that is akin to putting your head into a wood chipper and pretending you can hear the ocean. It's not good, it's not entertaining, and it's certainly not a transformative piece for science fiction. It is, I want to write space feudalism, but I also want to seem intellectual. I have things to say about society, but I want to put it in space since Star Wars is big right now. Yeah, I know how to save society. I'll just knock that thing down to 0 and they'll get it on their own and they'll be better for it. That's like having a parent who walks into your room every night, sets your bed on fire, destroys your computer and everything in your room, and says that you'll know better to make this on your own, and it will make you better as a person and more prosperous as a person to have to try and come back from this horrendous lack of everything you've had before, of all this knowledge, all your supplies, all your technology, your tools, and everything. Ooh. There's a reason I'm not going to read the book, because I value living. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say this now. I believe that everybody in this chat right now, Gidge, Ray, Gator, Jacob, and Vino, each and every one of you are probably a better writer than Mr. Herbert. I believe from seeing your own works, and the things that Vino sends me, and the little text blurbs that you all send me, and just the little instances of your characters shining through when you tell me about them, you put more thought into your world building, your setting, to making likable, workable characters in a functional setting than Mr. Herbert. Herbert doesn't make a world for his characters. He has a theme he wants to play with, and a few tropes he throws into the side. Sand planet. Oh! Tatooine! Giant worms. Oh! It's a worm! Space Rome. Ah! Oh god, it's so original! And like he literally uses Rome. They're in space on different planets, and like part of it, like I forget what the word was. It was like Rome stairs or something like that. And I'm supposed to be oh, he has such rich world developing and all these new worlds and creations. He's taking two words and slapping it together. Like pen tape. Or I got that backwards. Pen tape. Oh, I put it together and this is my new world building rule. It's called a pen tape. You have to flip to the back of the book to the thesaurus though for me to tell you the importance of pen tape. I will take my Nobel Prize now. Where's my literary awards? Pen tape. Here, I'll do another one. I'm going to fill out the thesaurus for the stream. Look, we've got a Sharpencil. Ask me what it means about society, the Sharpencil. Yeah, I don't know how Frank got praised for what he wrote, or why it is that it seems to be like such this big rite of passage to kiss the cloven hooved hind end cheeks of Dune and Frank T. Herbert. Oh, yeah, no, not only is he lauded, he's been interviewed so many times, and one of his interviews annoys me to no end, in which they talk to him about writer's block. And good old Franklin, he decides to sit there and say, writer's block? I've never once had writer's block. There's just some days I don't feel like writing. That's writer's block! He wants to sound like this great soul, like sagely figure. I am imbued with such wisdom, and I'm not afflicted by these mortal failings. I'm a writer. I'm Mr. Herbert, bitch. I made Dune. But again, at the end, he decides to soften his stance. He's a relatable man, of course, and he just doesn't feel like writing sometimes. He was tired. He just wasn't in the mood for it. I know everyone gets it. Everyone gets writer's block. Everyone gets artist block. I don't care if it's like crossword puzzle block. You're not on your A game all the time, and your mind has its own source of energy that can run low. Some days you feel more drained than others, and being able to recognize the symptoms of that before you push yourself into writer's block or a full-blown blowout or burnout that makes you resent what you're working on or not want to get out of bed in the morning is important to your mental health. Taking note of the signs is one of the most fundamentally important things any creator can do to maintain their creativity. You need to listen to yourself. You need to not think about this as some sort of conveyor belt where you must, by all means, pump something out, unless, like, you've been paid to do it and you have to get it done in a timely manner. Jacob, we can talk about Dragon Guy some other time about that. And you don't need some stuffy uppot trying to talk down to you for getting writer's block or think that it's a sign that he is so much above you, that he's evolved beyond the need to be tired. He just doesn't feel like it sometimes. People who try and shape the industry like that and remove the human quality of it so they get to stroke their own ego in a big circle are just absolutely a burden to any craft they're a part of. So I will say, character building, world building. Consider the importance and the effect of your setting in the world. Don't just take your idea and plop it in our world and write back from that. Each world with the things you create is going to be unique and flavored to itself. Don't take characters who, for example, let's say are overly academic by their nature and then critique the book or hold it up to the standards of, well, people wouldn't react like that. Don't let those kind of criticisms get to you, because if you painstakingly detail the psyche of a people that is different from our own, and people try to hold it against the real world, then there's the disconnect there. They're not getting into the writing. And think about what you can do to help drop them into that world and make it clear these aren't humans. These aren't us. They act differently. The more you can do to make the flavor of your world a rich, fruitful broth, to bring people in, to understand that these are different people and to connect with these different people, will make or break your book. It will make it so much easier for people to connect with it and for it to stand out in an overly saturated world. Because with the internet, with our generation, there are so many talented creators that yes, that is a constant fear for us of getting forgotten or lost in a pile of our peers, unable to rise to the top. But the more you can do to make your flavor stand out, to make your idea stand, if nothing else, in solidarity, in unity with these other creators, for when historians or whoever it might be deep diving on the web or going through some old bookstore discovers us, knows what we were thinking and what we had to say. The more you can stand out, the more you can be you and convey what's in you, the more people will get to know you, because they will see the you reflecting in your work. They will see the idea you wanted to play. They will see the idea you wanted to show them. And that, if nothing else, will set you apart so that you don't sink in this oversaturation. You comfortably sit on the surface to be discovered or not by merits of your own writing, and not falling into this pit of samey nonsense that seems to populate the TV and the airways because all it does is want to play to a lower common denominator, or wants to sound like it's intelligent or glorious or amazing. Don't be Dune, that is so pretentious, with so little to say but such a high opinion of itself. Like, even, I know the thing here is going to be, well, it got popular, that's what I want, isn't it? But no, I'd say not. I'd say don't follow the ideas of Frank Herbert. Don't stand out like that. There's a good and a bad way, and I think having faith in what you do and just really considering the world building and really just making something that's meaty, that people can sink their teeth into and consider and dissect and understand and learn will be far more rewarding than having a group of people trying to think of what deeper philosophical meaning your book had when its mouth is sewn shut. This is why I need to switch to decaf. We'll talk about on another stream. Oh God, yeah, no, I feel so bad for him. Isn't it been like a year and a half he's been waiting for a commission, and they're just pumping out more pictures, and his is just sitting in limbo forever. Whoever play, read, see The Fall in London, Sunless Sea, Sunless Sky. No, I haven't, but that sounds interesting. Oh yeah, there's a fellow that Jacob knows who commissioned an artist to get art of one of his characters. And if I recall correctly, it's for a book he's doing or something like that. And it's been like a year and a half to 2 years of just waiting and excuse after excuse of why they haven't got to it, paired with them doing Inktober challenges, them doing commissions for other people, requests for other people, them trying to network and make themselves this big commissioner, while he's sitting over here in dumb baby jail going, "Hello? How's my picture going?" And nothing happening from it. So yeah, there's another way you don't want to stand out in the market. Don't be the person who takes the money and run. A little delayed on the S there, but we did it, so it counts, so shut up. I'm probably just going to finish this. Or not. Yeah, I'm gradually jumping in between Monster and Range. I need increasingly trendier boomer juices to be able to get through the day. This is going to be one of those streams where I just don't write anything at all. But I hope that everybody has a good conversation, a good time, a good bit of exchanging ideas. Because again, like I said, each one of you stands out as a quality writer. And if you put the time in and you put the effort in there to get yourselves out there, get yourselves published, make as much noise as you can to show off your idea, I'm sure you'll succeed. Vino, the stuff you've sent me about your space future, the questions you pose to me, your insight on the things we talk about, is nothing short of amazing. Jacob, the vast amount, just the mind-boggling amount of world building, and I'm sure Ray can vouch for this, having read that paragraph, will vouch for the fact that your world building, the content you've made, just the vastness, the scope, the insight, the thought that you've put into your world is nothing short of admirable. And Ray, your characters are so touching and so warm and so fun and so unique that they can't help but put a smile on the face of anyone who sees them. Self-inserts or not, whenever you sit down to make a character, it is always a cheery delight to see that face, to see that character, to see that new expression from a different angle of a character we've seen before from you, or something entirely new. That it's always a wild ride, and it's great. Yes, they are. Otherwise, I wouldn't have written in the span of 4 days 112 pages with you. You are fantastic. Jacob is fantastic. Didge is fantastic. Vino is fantastic. Openly Gator is a mysterious person who just showed up here, and I have the utmost in confidence that if I spent enough time with them, or that if I knew their actual identity, they would be fantastic too. You're all great creators. And you just need to remember that. Because I do. I believe in all of you 100% from the bottom of my heart. The ideas, the unique things you come up with, the unique ways you experience the world, and your unique thoughts are worthwhile. They have meaning. They are valid. And the things that you create, the artistic expressions that derive from that, are so much more than the drivel we get, from the low bar we get from modern television, for the most part. There's some good shows out there. I'm not gonna be angry boomer over here. There's credit where it's due. There's a primo shows out there. Yes, you are the wild card. And I think I've sent Vino into a coma. My high-octane rambling has finally sucked enough air out of the room that he's asphyxiated. It'll be someone else next. The chat's just gradually going to grow silent. But you are. You all are. No, withdrawal is my base state. I do appreciate these streams more than anything. Like, not just because I get to be here and it's like, look at me writing, I'm valid, validate me, yes. I just like the time to want to spend with you guys. So I was really bummed out when my operating system crashed, and I missed that day. Gidge will vouch for this. I stayed up well into the night trying to get this darn thing working again. And it just took such an amount of time that it wasn't feasible for me to want to try to stream. And then with work coming up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I had to push it off until Sunday night because I knew I'd have an energy drink. And I knew, with God as my witness, the moment I got home, I could still stream into the night. And we could still make this happen. And we could still have this moment where we all come together and we say, we are creators. We want to do our best to have a good time, to support one another, and that the glory days of the internet back in the early 2000s with DeviantArt and everything, where all the artists and all the creators got together to talk and to hang out and just communicate and uplift one another because this was a strange new thing and it was fun, is not dead. It dies with us and it survives and thrives through us. And that's what these are. This is my moment to share the fondest memories I have of the early internet, like the early 2000s, the first time getting on DeviantArt with all of you. Well, all of you do that here, and we share conversation and chatter and fun and jokes and games, and Sush occasionally shows up and throws lava people at me that sends me into hysterics that suffocates me and causes me to have to transmit my consciousness into clone body number 7. It's an experience that I enjoy a lot. And I think thinking about the things we go through in life, like the little moments on the internet, the little interactions, as an experience to hold on to instead of just the flow of the day or just some IM ping. Yeah, no, I've been very good to them. I think that's something that will help keep us in a much more positive mindscape. To sort of just appreciate the experiences and the rides for what they were. No, you see, I actually have very good insurance for clones, so I will ship my clones off. Like you can tell, this is the anti-clone. This is the Dark Future clone. We've got the cool scratch over the eye here. I don't know if you can see it with the lighting, but my dog caught my eye this morning, and I've been going through today looking like Caleb from the Grim Dark Future. Now, all we need is hang on, the big tropes for the alternate future, the dark future. We've got the scar over the eye, and we're going to have to be missing an arm, and then we will be the ultimate Gohan that we were always meant to be. And that will be, oh, nope, a few more drops. There we go. I finished my soda. I'm going to try and force myself to get into a writing zone here. And just as my fingertips touch the keys with the intent to write, a meteor is going to crash and wipe out my house. And we're going to have to go on to Emergency Clone Gamma. You see, the deep lore of Written Wednesday is that I was experimenting with cloning, and I started with Sush, so we had all the Sush clones. So, while I perfected that, once the research was done, we just moved on to the Caleb clones. It's like putting on a nice set of trousers or a new suit jacket. Now, I'm going to go back and read a little bit of this. Excuse me. And see if I can't ease myself back into the momentum and flow of what I had been doing. By the way, I'm curious, what does everybody think of the new lighting? Does it work for everyone? Do I look good on all the streams, or am I just a glowing mass of like white with like half of my lips? No, I don't burp. I am a gentleman. Burping never happens on this stream, and you can't prove otherwise. It has not been filmed, and there is no video evidence. It looks like daylight in there. 10 of 10. It is very bright. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is it too bright? Are we approaching uncomfortably bright? Okay, Ray says it's good. Then I'm going to believe Ray, because Ray is all that is light and good in the world. She knows light. She was born in it. Raised in it. It seems bright. Okay. Well, we have established it is light, and it has light characteristics, and that it is bright. And that theoretically it looks good. I was born in darkness. I think you might have been born with your eyes closed. Where is the world? Why is it whenever I say a single word, you just go on and praise me, Caleb? Because you are worth it and you're awesome. And you don't say a single word, you say sentences. Like you're not in the chat just going, avocado! Beans! You know, I might have to stop there, and I'm not going to be able to consider it. Yes, no, I see what you mean there, Ray. You precious scholarly person, you. Yeah, no, everybody loves Ray. Just cast all your Ray like you're giving Goku energy for the Spirit Bomb, but just praise Ray. And if you do start speaking in single words, I don't know if I'm going to be able to praise that. That's just going to confuse me more than anything, and I'm probably going to have to divert my already limited brain power into figuring it out. Yes, we've got hearts in the chat. Everybody just spam the chat with hearts for Ray. That's going to be the name of this episode. Ray is love, Ray is life. People
People of Earth, lend Ray your energy. Just give Ray your love. No. Gives reactive. I said love, not radioactive isotopes. Ray's great and all, but I don't know if I'd trust her with a thermite reactor. That might be a little too much power. Radio. Oh, I gotta do it. That's stupid, but I'm gonna do it. I did it. There it is. Enjoy that. That hurts me just as much as it hurts you, I promise. But it's done now. Yes. Ray, boo! Yes, I know. But now that I've got that out of the way, I can focus on writing. Oh my God, you interacted with the chat. Yes, I occasionally do that. I exploit my powers of the god worm of the chat. Because it teaches you self-reliance. Because I'm here for you as the giant, stupid, poorly written god worm. That's why the lighting. I've ascended. It was not something that was lost on the young man either. A quick look across the command center would remind him that this wasn't the Moonstar. He needed to relax. These were new people, a new crew, and a new set of circumstances. Signal messed up. Ooh, ah. Fair point, he exhaled, hoping to assure the other officers. Still, I might want to go back a little bit farther here, don't I? The drive has reached D4AP37SD SA and is elevating to Deck 2, reported Cairo. What? It's moving... Oh, so I already had that line. It's a good thing I already had that there. I was repeating myself. What? It's moving towards the security deck? That doesn't make any sense unless it's trying to seek out the biggest threat on board. Tanner thought aloud. Insufficient data to back up that conclusion, Captain. We can assume no motive or intelligence on behalf of the artifact at this time, Cairo replied with a shake of her head. Agreed, friend Captain. This may just be a reaction to the superluminal travel. Gogira nodded in an effort to de-escalate Tanner's building concern. It was not something that was lost on the young man either. A quick look across the command center would remind him that this wasn't the Moonstar. He needed to relax. These were new people, a new crew, and a new set of circumstances. Fair point, he exhaled, hoping to assure the other officers. Still, alert Contrail of its movements and keep the mecha coordinated to intercept it. Oh no! Since the file crash, all my additions to the dictionary have been undone. Oh God! Cheer up, clone state. I feel like a psychological death is happening. I'm gonna have to go through this whole thing and re-add all of those. Oh no! Oh God! Legitimate dread. Oh, thank you. Oh. Yeah, in universe I have Death of a Salesman, Extermination of a Writer. In universe I have the no, did I not like Mecha? No, I added it to the dictionary. I have in my setting, the UCASC, often refer to robots as mecha or automa. The dread is about the fact that all my additions, my custom additions to the dictionary for this book, when my operating system corrupted, have been forgotten. So now it's marking everything as incorrect, and if I write this in the future, it might try to autocorrect it to something else and I might not notice, or it's just going to keep marking everything wrong. Oh, I had spent so much time trying to add everything. Oh. Oh God, don't even talk to me about Japanese. I was watching Dr. Stone with Sush last night. And there's this one character who keeps saying rules are rules, but we weren't watching a dub, we were watching the English sub, and just the way he said rules are rules, just the way it sounded when he said it, had like a very musical kind of tone to it. It had a very distinct and like identifiable sound. So I looked it up, I researched it, I isolated what it was that had that specific point, and it was him saying rules are rules. And the Japanese way that it's spoken was stuck in my head all day today. Just the word rules are rules. You know how like a normal sensible person gets a song stuck in their head? Occasionally I'll get a person's name or a phrase or a word or a set of like some weird facts that I know stuck in my head in place of a song. I thought you were going to say Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss. Ooh, God, ooh, boy, that would not be a bright future for humanity. Rules are rules. Sounds like panty and stocking. Ooh. Fair point. That was a fun show. I still love Garter Belt. Fair point, he exhaled, hoping to assure the other officers. Still, alert Contrail of its movements and keep the mecha coordinated to intercept it. Have him set up barricades or any means of getting this thing back under control. I want all security at emergency level 2, and just in case, I want the Nox module made ready to eject with the morality staff at code 3. Tanner continued. Morality staff is standing by, Cairo reported within a moment of one of her tendrils connecting to another port in her console. Rules. There we go. Rules. Okay, yeah, already read that. Sir, called another officer as she looked up from the robotic operations console. Cans are on scene. I've got video coming in now. Defender, put that feed on the master screen, block 4. Tanner commanded with a brief glance. Command confirmed, transferring Bridgewell. Wake up, you've had an energy drink. Command confirmed, transferring visual broadcast, the AI repeated, its holographic avatar remaining steadfast on the railing by Tanner's shoulder. In less than a blink's worth of time, the feed would suddenly populate a small section of the front of the command center. Even isolated in the tab, from the perspective of the pursuing cans, the full extent of the pandemonium the rampaging relic caused was undiminished. Arcs of some weighty and Arcs of some weighty and tangible energy would lick and lash from the surface of the now rapidly spinning plates, which orbited the spinal core of the machine, slapping to anything in its path with a magnetic swiftness before shoving it hard into the walls. Crewmen, cans, even the bulkhead doors failed to offer any crewmen, cans, even bulkhead doors failed to offer it any resistance, equal in their effectiveness as stopping and giving it a strong talking to. Well, began Jamin as his eyes widened some at the live footage. Looks like you've got everything under control here. I think I'll just saunter back to the Mesve. Nice meeting all of you, and great work with everything. He teasingly jeered in a shaken tone. The thing isn't even slowing down, Tanner quietly muttered through an ever-tightening jaw. The Infinity Drive appears to be moving towards Deck 2's main corridor, away from Sector D, Cairo reported. I don't know what. Excuse me. I don't know what to call my battle robots yet. I think I call them robots or bots. That's one thing I haven't overworld built yet. I'm sure at some point you're going to come up with something in the usual your specian fashion. I don't know how much of this you're comfortable with me saying in stream, because I don't want to reveal anyone's work so far. I know in Gidge's case there are some people who might pinch ideas if they ever came across them. Crow. But I look forward to seeing what you call them. It's either going to be something wordy, or in the case of a battle robot, I think brevity would be the best course of action there. Or like tanks. Remember how they were originally going to be called, I think it was barrels or something like that. Like tanks was just a code name for them that stuck. So I think something in that fashion would work for your robots. Oh, it's fine. Okay, so can I say their name in stream? In my setting, I have different depending on a role. That's cool. I do like the idea, because robots anymore seems to be a very, very general term that we're using, because it can be just about anything. Land ships, yeah. Oh, no. Oh, God, man. Jacob, you're going to have to tone it down. I'm going to have to go back to the back of the thesaurus and look up what you're saying. I don't get what you mean with land ships. Is that a strange new bit of world building? I'm going to have to contact the Washington Post. People magazine. Is droids, small flying things, drones, IFVs. I literally almost just called them called the BattleBots drones. What about force amplifiers? Deploy force amplifiers to grid 2 or something like that. Because you're just... I know they have a very interesting perspective of AI, and I don't think they diminish an AI by giving it some sort of limiting title based on its platform. So I can't imagine that any battle platform would be that intelligent, and I think they just refer to it by what its function is, and that it applies force to an area, or it's a soldier for something, or something like that. Or if we are going with the whole... it's a battle platform for a more developed VI or AI or something like that, you could call them chariots or something like that. Semi-autonomous integrated weapons platforms. SAIWP. SciWP? That's going to be, like, when I see an acronym, the first thing I want to do is try and say it. Semi-autonomous adaptive. SOP. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, there we go. Or we could just shorten it to SETIs. Deploy the SETIs. See, that's the fun of it. Writers helping writers. Writers helping writers. Just a space in an area to spitball in. Because again, and I want to put this out there, this is one of the reinvigorating things about role-playing with Ray or talking to my friends, just being able to get outside of your own head and look at it from a different perspective. Two heads are always going to be better than one. So getting outside of yourself and contacting friends or people or someone else to want to look into an idea from a different perspective or just throw something back at you or deconstruct what you've done can often help invigorate you for what to write next. I'm going to go and sit and think about this because the idea is, well, you already know, I won't say it on stream. Gotcha. Let me try another one real quick. SETI cap. Or just call it a die cap. Yeah, I think die cap has a good sound to it. Just drop the semi part to it and keep the DI from directed, and then... No, it had to be cop. Die cop. For combat and then platform. Or die comp. No, that one doesn't sound right. That one has a distinctly autobiography kind of sound to it. And not one that's worth reading. Main quarters. Ooh. Wait a second. Where's... I know they just added... I know they added a pause function to recording, but I don't know where it is. So unfortunately, while I learn that, you guys are going to have to sit here for a while. I'm going to be right back, and I'm going to think, because I think I ripped myself into a hole here. And I'll be right back after these messages. It just dawned on me what to write. So I didn't need to get any soda. Didn't need to make any tea. I got it. You don't need to play the elevator music. I'm back. Here I am being back. Oh, and it's not gonna like Mama. Oh, that bugs me. So now if I spell something wrong, I'm not going to know. What do you mean my pitch sounds off? An echo. Yeah, it's weird. Oh no. Oh, Jesus. I don't want that. Oh. I'm gonna have to be super. Super cautious not to spell anything wrong. Oh. Yeah. Echo on your end. I don't know what I've done differently. I haven't clicked anything. Is everything okay, Ray? Ooh. I have to get the spell check thing back because I like to keep the icon there. Let me see here. Spell check. New open. Aha! Here we go. Spelling and grammar. There we go. Let's get started with that. Add to dictionary. Ignore rule. Add to dictionary. Change it all. I can't fix it, so I have to leave for the moment. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Ooh, that's going to be able to work afterwards. Oh man, that's the problem here. I'm not going to know if I spell the names correctly because sometimes I get some of the letters backwards. Okay, good. So, add to dictionary. Italics. What echo? There shouldn't be an echo. Are you playing in the background or? No, okay, you're not. Not gonna lie, the echo tape typing sounds pretty. If it does pop up in the recording, I think I'm going to enjoy hearing it because I want to hear like content-aware sounds of me typing. That'd be just wibbling and wobbling off into the heavens. I think that'd be pretty dope. Oh, you making the noise was even better echoed. Thank you. Well, I'm glad to help, but if I think I'm going to have to troubleshoot. I can feel that scream stuck underneath my hat, so that's probably going to have to stay there for the rest of the stream now. But I'm probably going to have to troubleshoot this before Wednesday, see if I can't fix this. And I might cut the stream a little bit early if it persists, because I don't want this to be an unpleasant stream for people. Super velocity. Is it still echoing? I don't know if that's just going to be a thing that fixes itself or not, but if it's not, I think I might call it here. Disconnected, you say? Reconnection, there we go. Yeah, okay. Well, if it's still echoing, thank you very much for joining me for this very echoey edition of Written Wednesday. Hopefully I'll have this sorted out by next Wednesday. This is the teething troubles of trying to get things back into order after Windows 10 decided to die. So thank you very much for everybody joining me. Thank you for the conversation, for the moments, the memories, and all the things in between. Keep a kind state of mind and always pursue your dreams. See ya.